And welcome back to the Judith Daniel Life Coach podcast, where we give tips, advice, perspective, inspiration, and motivation for your day. A great start to your new journey. So in this episode, we are on episode 6, and we are talking about embracing change and transitions, which can be an uncomfortable, unfamiliar road in your journey. But it's also a powerful teacher. When you learn to embrace change instead of fearing it, you step into a stronger, more flexible version of yourself. Navigating transitions with courage builds confidence because it proves that you can adapt, that you can evolve, and rise in the face of the unknown. Every transition is an opportunity to reinvent, to release what no longer serves you, and to align with something greater. Resisting change creates fear, but embracing it creates a sort of freedom. So when we're getting into this, I want you to keep an open mind, because we have all been through change in our life multiple times, even if you've lived a little bit, even if you're in your early teens, right? And there's going to be more changes to come. So some of the core principles for embracing change and navigating the transition is what we're going to discuss today. So accept that change is inevitable. It's not optional. We might want to stay a little toddler child, but eventually we grow into an adult. The only constant in life is change, and resisting it or not wanting to be a part of it, keeping yourself from doing it, it creates stress. Accepting it allows you to flow with life instead of fighting it. So, and we can do changes all the way from, okay, I'm changing my diet. You know what I mean? I need this improvement for weight, for health, for well-being, or whatever it may be. Or it could be something a little bit bigger. I have to change my house. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be doing things in a new place with people I don't know. That could be a little scary, right? And so we want to make sure that we are keeping that open mind, and we're focusing on what we can control rather than what we can't. So in transitions, focus on mindset, attitude, and daily actions. This gives you a sense of stability. Especially when you're in uncertain times or you don't have a familiar point of reference for this part of the journey, like you've never done such a thing, whatever that may be. And I don't want to say it's scary to the point of hesitation, but it can make you delay the inevitable. Or once you're in it and you've gone through with the change, now you're standoffish and you keep yourself withdrawn to have a sort of power. But instead of making it a negative, when you anchor yourself with daily routines during the change, the consistent habits, like journaling or walking, prayer, or just doing something normal, it provides grounding and a sense of control. So we would reframe uncertainty as possibility. We want to shift the narrative. And don't think of it when you're going into something new as this is the end of an era, right? As some may do. But let's reframe that into it's the beginning of something different. And this uncertainty kind of holds the seeds of opportunity. You can give yourself permission to grieve the old, right? Because there's always going to be something taken away when you're gaining something else. Acknowledge and honor what you're leaving behind. It clears emotional space for the new. So let's say if there was an adverse relationship, if there was something that was out of your control, and let me break down for you before we go any further, what are some of the things that you can't control that sometimes we try to control anyway? So I'm going to just spew off a list of some things that I talk about with my clients, and then we're going to get into what you can control. So how others take care of themselves. You can't control that. Who likes you or doesn't like you. How other people treat you. Someone else's decisions. If someone else keeps trying or gives up. Others being honest. You can't control your past mistakes. Others asking for help. If someone else forgives you for an action that you have done that they thought was adverse towards them. Now, some of the things you can control is how kind are you? Being accountable. Your decisions. How you respond to challenges. If you go ahead and try again. How you spend your free time. If you yourself are being honest. Working hard. And how you respond to other people. And the friends you choose to have. So think of it as I can only do me. Even when I see the, what do they call that? Possibility in someone else. Even if you see their potential, you can't control what other people are going to do. You can give good advice, but it's up to them to take it and do something with it. So you have to let that pressure off of yourself when you're in a new situation. And you know that you can't change anyone's mind. You can only be and react how you are going to be and react. So you want to, again, anchor yourself with daily routines that you're comfortable with. So even if you're in a new location, you can still have your coffee at the same time. You still have all your products to do your daily or your monthly spa routine. Even if you can't get to a new servicer right away, because I know sometimes it takes time, from a woman's perspective, to find the right hairstylist, to find the right salon, and, to do all the things. But then that's the fun of the adventure, going and finding new things. Trust your inner compass. Change invites you to reconnect with your intuition. Trust that you're equipped to navigate what's next. Even if you don't have all the answers, even if you don't have a point of reference, be open to seeing and inviting that new in. And if you have the time, because I know we get quite busy, especially when you're in transition or something new is going on and it needs all of your focus at the moment, make sure you take time to reflect on the past transitions that you've survived. Look back on times that you've faced change before and grew. And let that history remind you of your resilience and strength. Because you may not have a point of reference on where you are right now and moving forward. That can be unfamiliar and brand new. But you've had to deal with change in the past. And why be afraid of it when you already know kind of how to do certain things, right? It's just jumping into that newness. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because some people are so scared of that next step that they don't take action. And they don't realize that they've been going through change all their life. So let's say you're moving to a different state. Now, I've been moving all my life. My dad was in the military. I was born in Seattle. I grew up in the Quad Cities a little bit, mostly in California. I've lived in Texas and Wisconsin. DC is what I call home. There's so many different aspects of me moving that I am now unafraid to go to a new location because I know that people are about the same, right? So even if, let's say, I'm going to move to Minnesota, where I've never been, I have been dealing with change of atmosphere, dealing with people, which I've noticed that they're pretty much the same all around. It's just in the environment that they're in, they act a little bit different. But to the core of a person, it's morally the same. So I would, yes, have a fear of, okay, I'm going to move to Minnesota. I've heard the different things, but I have to come here for work because it's a very big promotion for me. It's a very big step in the right direction of where I want to be and my clientele. So this would be a good opportunity for me. The house is beautiful. The different aspects of living and expenses are very nice. Like there's so many benefits of moving there, but it's a completely different place. I will know no one. I don't know how to get around the city. I know it gets cold, but how cold? There's all these things going through my mind. But instead of me looking at it like, oh my goodness, this is just so overwhelming, look at it like, hey, no matter where I am, I'm going to live. And people can move in and out of the neighborhood that I'm in right now, and they could be completely different in the next couple of years. And that's all it really is a difference of scenery. But I'm still going to be who I am. I still get to do the things I love to do. Nothing is being taken away from me. And in fact, there's actually a lot of benefits given to me for this move. So does your yes outweigh your no? Does the benefit outweigh the con? Right? If you're dealing with a relationship and you're like, this person is so familiar with me, I'm so familiar with them, I've grown up with them, I know everything about them, I know that they have this toxic way, but I'm used to it, I've been dealing with it for so long. But in the heart of you, there is a change that needs to take place because something about the situation isn't safe, it's mentally unstable, it causes you to have panic, or there's something else negative that you need to get away from this. But that fear of starting over, that's fear of going outside of what you understand and you know as normalcy, right? Because it would be a brand new life. That fear of how are they going to think or react if I leave, those types of things can cause a person to be stagnant, even in an unhealthy situation. Fear is very powerful if you let it be. But I also want to say that fear, not danger, okay? Fear is not real. Fear is the possibility of what could be or a possible outcome. Danger is when you're in the middle of something and you know it's going south. You can feel it, you can see it, everything about it is like I'm in danger. But fear, having that thought, is just that, a thought of what could be. But it's not actually what is happening. So if you're in that, let's say a toxic, an abusive, an adverse relationship that's very, very negative and has lots of consequences and makes you feel a certain way that your health is affected, you are in danger. And if you want to get out of that situation and you're saying, but when I look over here, that's how you know it's fear. When you start out the sentence of if, that's a clear flag that no, this is not real. This is just a thought I am having. And there's certain kinds of things that, provisions you can take in order to help alleviate some of those fears. But know the difference between being in danger and then a thought running away with your mind that leads to fear. Even in fear, move forward to where you know you're supposed to be. If you're in danger, that's when you want to act immediately. So another thing when dealing with those sorts of things is surrounding yourself with positive people. When you have a supportive community, it helps you stay emotionally balanced. You can talk to people, you can confide in them, and maybe they understand the change that you're going through. Maybe they have seen you for a long time through your life, right? They didn't just meet you last year. And they know your personality, and they know that, yeah, I can see why you would say this is scary. But they also give that support of, but I know you could do it if you try. And even if you do try it and it doesn't work out, you can always come back to what is familiar. But you already know what's going to happen here, or with this thing, or in this place. Why not take that adventure to expand the newness of your range of possibility? Why not take that risk? You can always do research before you go. You can always look at forums and ask questions to locals. You can always, do something that can ease your mind or point you in a better direction than what maybe you thought. So then you're not totally doing it by yourself. But it's up to you to not let yourself be stuck in fear when it comes to change. Create a vision for what's ahead, even if the future feels uncertain, right? Visualize what you hope for. Hope creates direction, and direction creates movement. And when you start to take action and go into those movements, you're going to have other questions arise, and you're going to be able to research for the answer. So now you're more knowledgeable about what is to come, and you're not completely in the dark. Allow the experience to transform you. Change isn't just happening to you, it's happening for you. Let it shape you into a wiser, braver, more aligned version of yourself. See, some people, they're so caught up in the fear of going through the change that they're not embracing the rewards. A great reward that comes with embracing a change is when you're able to look back and you said, I was afraid for nothing. When you're able to look back and say, oh, I'm glad I did that, because now I've met blah, 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 or I've had the experience of blah, blah, blah. And it feels good. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like an extended point of freedom. So, when dealing with embracing change and navigating through transitions, you get to pick whether you're involved and you go through with it, or whether you stay right where you are and you're forced into it. And it's better to go when you're not being forced, because then you have time to make some changes and put some things in place that you want to put in place. When you're forced to do something, or you just have to and it's inevitable and it's coming anyway, and you're so busy fighting it, you don't get to have that same sort of outlook, and to ask the questions and to actually go into it peacefully. Everything about it seems like a chore. Everything about it seems like a hurt or a painful something, action, right? So it's up to you. Change, even though we don't always see how it's going to work out, can be good. Especially when you know the initial reason for that change and you don't let your mind talk you out of it. So I hope you enjoyed that teeny tiny little bit of encouragement, and that you understand that you have the power to go at it any way you want. But why not take the adventure? Check out my layered affirmations. I just launched it, and they're going to be out daily at 9 p.m. on the weekdays, no weekends. And you can listen to them. There will be a total of 30 coming out that will be free of charge. But you do have the option to have personalized layered affirmations. I do give a bit of knowledge and information on the website to exactly what a layered affirmation is and why it's so powerful. And at the end of each video, if you want to listen, I also explain it there. But if you have any questions, you want to get started, you have questions about getting started, you can visit judithdaniellc.com for more information. And there you can see the Sassy movement, what we have going on for the Futures Club, the LTC Life Transformation course, and the life coaching that I offer. Yeah, it's a lot going on, but I love it and I'm here for you. So any questions at all, please let me know. JudithDanielLC.com. All right, until next time. Deuces.